And you're in Spain?
I am in Madrid. I am in
Madrid, yeah.
Spain. Yes,
Yeah,
that's correct.
It's
Yeah.
already opened, the borders in Spain?
Yes, the borders have been open for some time. Restrictions came and went, and come and go. Because as with this new variant, different countries, have a rise in the number of COVID cases, of people who get it. Not Spain. We have very, very few cases, and they don't know yet the symptoms, right? So yeah, some countries, prefer or like to be very strict from the very beginning. So they try to instill very, very, strict restrictions, but they are not closing the borders like before. I don't think they will. It's just a matter of caution, extreme caution, and just be mindful of wearing the masks, keeping the distance, and so forth.
Exactly. Yes, yes, yes.
Fortunately, in Spain, it's probably the only country, or one of the few countries in Europe that has managed, because of the high vaccination rate. We're one of the few countries that reached, almost 90% of the population vaccinated, which makes a difference. So in that sense, I think all the other countries around are also trying to accelerate, to accelerate the vaccination in their territories.
Yes, yes, yes. We're happy to
How
have.
about you? How is there?
In Indonesia? So we
Yes.
are yes, with the Omicron, all the things surrounding what we don't know about this variant and so on. So we've added a number of quarantine days for international travelers coming back, and also for anybody, whether they're Indonesians or foreign nationals. So it's from 7 days required quarantine to
Right.
10 days now. So yeah,
Okay.
it keeps changing here and there, so we don't really know exactly, and so it's difficult to tell the international students, especially those coming the next semester, and whether it's 7, 10, and so it's a
right.
dynamic. Yes. But we are happy to have you here.
Thank you so much.
And so it's hopefully it's lovely there. It's lovely here also in Bandung. So we're happy to have Miss Irina. Please forgive me if I pronounce your last name incorrectly. Is it no?
It's the nano. It's as you see, it's writing. So it's the nano. Don't worry about it. It's not an easy name to pronounce, surname to pronounce. So that's perfectly fine.
Thank you. Sorry, Ms. Irina Denanu from IE University, to present you about the scholarship opportunity to study at IE University, especially at the master's level. And so we have just signed our agreement with IE University to create this opportunity for ITB students and alumni to study at IE University with scholarship. If I may, I would also like to say a few words about the background of Ms. Irina Denanu. Ms. Irina Denanu is the Senior Manager for Asia Pacific at IE University. Ms. Denanu studied business management at the University of Economics in Romania, and
I lost your connection. Are you? I'm not sure if it's just me.
Yeah, I think we lost connection also with Pak Andika. Wait a minute.
Alumni, holding an exec program, project management and leadership. 15.
No, it's not working out for me. I I completely lost him.
I was thrown out. I'm really sorry. I was about to finish up my introduction of Ms. Denanu. Ms. Denanu is also a speaker on career change and coaching professionals from around the world, helping them to develop their professional careers and education. So it's from marketing, sales, and then there's also the coaching background as well. So we're happy to have Ms. Irina to give you more information about the scholarship opportunity and studying at IE University. Without further ado, Irina, the screen is yours. Please take the session.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's really a privilege today to be here with you. Before I jump into the presentation, I would like to know just a little bit about you. The connection dropped a little bit, but just to summary who am I? I oversee the Asia Pacific region. I work with IE. I'm also an alumna from IE myself. I have studied my MBA at IE University, and I did an executive education program as well in project management and leadership. I'm very much engaged with women initiatives at IE and beyond IE with projects in Asia Pacific. As Andika was mentioning kindly, I also have some experience in executive coaching. I'm coursing actually, the executive coaching certification. So there's a lot in my background. I'm not Spanish of origin. I'm Romanian. I have been living in Spain for the last 16 years. I came here on holidays and I decided to stay because I fell in love with the place. The Romanian and Spanish culture are quite similar, are very welcoming. So the country is also and the culture is beautiful. So this is just a short description of my background and who am I. But I would also like to understand from the audience, from the participants, a little bit of your background in very concise, maybe chats. Type in the chat. Why are you here? What would you like to know? What type of programs or knowledge areas you're interested in, just to have an idea of your backgrounds as well. And just as you do that, what I'm going to do is go ahead and jump into the first, the initial introduction on the IE University for everyone to understand who we are.
Irina, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Would you be able to put a full screen?
I thought I did. Sorry.
So in our preview, there's two slides. One is the slide that you're showing, and the other one is the one that's coming up. So perhaps.
Let me just go back and see. I'm not sure why you see it like this.
So if I'm mistaken, usually there's the button at the bottom of this PowerPoint slide that will give you that sort of like full view.
Let me try again.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Thank you for letting me know. I lose sight of, how you see the screen. I was seeing it okay, but sometimes, how do you see it now?
We're seeing it well. So the one at the bottom here, that says slideshow.
Yeah.
Usually it's usually showing.
For some reason it takes its time. What's happening today?
Or otherwise we can go to the previous mode. That's okay.
Okay, just 1 second. I'm gonna try this this out. Just 1 second, please. I'm gonna open it again. Sometimes it's just they act in their own. They have their own behavior. So. No, it starts. I think it starts in the same for some reason.
It's fine. So we can go with this. Sorry, Irina.
That's okay.
All okay. All good. Thank you.
All right. I'm sorry for this. Generally, it will just show in the whole screen. So I'm not sure why it does that today. Probably because of some settings. How about now?
This is perfect.
Do you see the full screen?
Yeah.
Great.
Full screen, yes.
Great. So anyway, just to dive into the introduction of our university for those of you who hear about us for the first time, if definitely you're interested in being part of a very global network, build your network from where you are now. Some of you might have, I haven't seen the chat yet, but some of you might have traveled abroad, have exposure abroad, either through your academic studies or through your professional experience. But if you are interested or are keen or driven by growing your network, being part of a global international cohort of both students, professors, faculty, of course, and company representatives that share all of practical experience and the keen interest in business trends and insights about the business today, then I think we are all in the right place at the right time today, right? So I welcome you all. Just to mention a little bit about our core values, the IE innovation is one important driver at IE, and just by the survey that was run by Bloomberg, IE is positioned on the 10th place in the world from all the business schools, the top universities during the COVID era and beyond. To mention a few of our most recent rankings with the Global MBA, which is happens to be the program I own from IE. It has been ranked the first in the world by the QS ranking and the second in the world by the FTIM ranking. This is just to show the positioning of IE. It wouldn't be, it's really an honor and a pleasure for me always to mention Eka Fitria. Eka Fitria is the general manager for Bank Mandiri in Hong Kong. As you probably are familiar with, Bank Mandiri is a very top institution there. So when we asked her about her journey and her experience at IE, one of the things she highlighted is the quality of the faculty, which I definitely vouch for as an alumna myself, the IE entrepreneurial mindset, and I'll talk about that in a bit, and also the different distinctive values, right, that helped shape her unique management style and leadership style. And now she's able to manage her team, an international team abroad in a very international company. Another example is our alumni, Kevin Vijay. He owns an MBA also from IE from 2016. He did an exchange actually with an Ivy League university. And one of the things he highlighted is that he preferred the IE classes because of their practical nature, because of their hands-on sort of nature, and because he finds that they are very relevant to the real world problem-solving issues. The other example I wanted to share with you is Lex. He owns an MBA also from IE. He's a solutionary for Microsoft. And for him, the MBA's emphasis was on the entrepreneurial mindset, the innovation, the digital transformation. who, according to him, helped him to be far more adaptable in this very globalized world. And he found that the experience, the journey at IE was very transformative. It's very, entre parentheses here, is very common amongst us alumni from the IE University to find this experience and this journey here quite transformational. And in this case, Lex managed to actually do a career switch to technology, and he works now with Microsoft. This gives me, room to mention here the quality of our and the excellence of our faculty. This is just some examples, if we're talking about the companies they work for, but also the fact that they're practitioners, which for me is gold, and it brings value into your experience at IE University. Why? Because practitioner means that you're not just an academic and you impart or you conduct, deliver classes from an basically purely academic perspective. You also bring from the professional experience working with this top companies or from the businesses they have founded on their own into the classroom, into the debate, right? So that means that you are able to grow or develop skills or a critical mind where you understand the different perspectives from the real life business cases through their eyes, because they're already working or they have been working with big corporations for a long time, or as I said, they're entrepreneurs themselves, so they have established multiple businesses in different industries or sectors. Just to mention a couple of them, Joaquin von Goetz, he's also an alum from IE. He's professor and VP Global Head of Experience Center Strategy at SAP, and Prashant Sugar, who is also professor in the Global Online MBA and head of sales of Facebook. There are other professors. It would be impossible for me to mention all the examples with excellent track and background, but I wanted to just highlight a few. Of course, the portfolio of programs is huge at IE. This is just to show an example of the Tech MBA, which is the first Tech MBA launched by IE University in Europe, and it has the highlight areas for this program, which has been ranked also very highly in the world and in Europe. There are 3 areas of development. Of course, you go through business, technology, a very deep dive into the technology and the transformational leadership. There are 3 tech tracks which you can choose from, which is digital transformation, absolutely necessary in all the companies demanded and the jobs demanded in nowadays in the world. Data analytics, of course, and artificial intelligence and digital finance. There are definitely 3 vital advantages when you study technology or a tech MBA, because you go through the business acumen, but also the technological part. So there are soft skills necessary to lead transformational processes in different companies. So it's necessary to understand the business acumen. However, those skills go further into communicating or leading international teams, like I was exemplifying through the alumni examples before. This is just a short history of IE. We were founded by an entrepreneur in 1973, which means that entrepreneurship has become one of our core values and is instilled in all of our portfolio of programs, whether it's undergraduate, whether it's masters, MBAs, doctoral, PhDs, you'll find that entrepreneurial spirit. Entrepreneurship, of course, is not just about having your own business, it's also learning or acquiring that capability of transforming a business, a community, an industry from within. So entrepreneurship goes beyond just being an owner of a startup or of your own business. These are just some of the milestones of IE when we were able, for example, to launch, the first blended programs. We have pioneered the blended methodology, which during the pandemic actually played to our favor, where we were able, to offer and to cater the studies to the students' needs wherever they were in the world. So whether you're in your home country or you're traveling somewhere, you can definitely continue your studies and you don't have to put your future on hold. We have several partnerships with, with different universities and companies from a career perspective. And again, as I was mentioning, then in 2019, the university launched the first Tech MBA in Europe. This is the IE ecosystem. I call it a matrix. We are, under the IE umbrella, let's say the IE University umbrella, you'll find different schools, different paths of knowledge, and those run from business with masters in management, MBAs, both in full-time format and blended format. You have the law school with LLM and international law studies, the School of Human Sciences and Technology for those of you who are more keen into going into tech studies, or tech careers. The School of Architecture are more for those of you who would like to become an architect or own your own architecture firm. Or you love interior design and you'd like to develop a career in interior design. The School of Global Affairs are for more, for those of you who are more into UN type of careers or working with international organizations which are more of a social impact or work on global projects, that help communities in different countries. Then the IE University, which is, home for the undergraduate studies, the IE Excel programs, which are definitely programs that are shorter in duration, but they're for higher or more executive profiles, CEOs of companies, and that want to kind of upgrade their skills into a certain area. And the Headspring, which is a collaboration with the FT, the Financial Times, and they actually seek to help transform the companies. And these are tailor-made programs, in-company programs that we help tailor for them. Of course, we own the triple accreditation by CSB, the IES and the AMBA, which is the Association of MBAs. And of course, there are different international awards beyond this accreditation. I mentioned this because one of the factors that played in my decision to pursue a study or higher education at IE was to make sure that I study with one of the top recognized accredited schools in the world. This is the brand you're going to carry with you for the rest of your life, a part of the other knowledge and the other experience that you're acquiring. And it's important, right, to consider. Some of the partnerships we collaborate with in terms of universities across the globe, to mention just a few. Again, it's impossible to name them all here. The MIT, the Yale, Brown, which we actually collaborate with, and we have a joint degree, which is the IE Brown program, Wharton, Chicago Booth, and the Association of School of Architecture as well, if we're thinking about the architecture area. Of course, there are tons of companies, top companies we work with, and that they recruit students from IE. I'll share a little bit later in the presentation how the career management, the career placement works at IE. But this is just to give you an idea of the top names of companies across the globe with subsidiaries in different cities and different locations in all continents, actually. When we speak about IE, we don't speak only about the experience in the classroom. It's also the corporate experience that you're going to build through internships and different collaborations with companies. This is on the corporate side, where we have agreements with Inditex, the Saudi Aramco with a corporate MBA, the PwC with a corporate law program, LLM, Santander, which is the corporate innovation and customer centricity program. And then in Latin America, for example, the Group of Mexico Islamic Development Bank, it's a corporate MBA, and it's in association with IE University. Our campus is in Madrid, where I am now. I am actually conducting this session from my home today because it's a bank holiday in Madrid. Otherwise, I would be either in the Madrid campus, which you see at your left as you see the screen, or at your right, the IE Tower, which is the new campus. Now, the Madrid campus is what we consider the urban, the urban campus, one of the few top universities in the world that has an urban campus. That means that we are in a residential area, is in the heart of the capital, is the financial district. I live very like about 2 blocks away from this campus, and it's quite nice. The Segovia campus is home for the bachelor degrees for the undergraduate students, but now we have the IE Tower, which is the first. It's a 35 stories building with a lot of study rooms, opportunities for students to engage in different projects, the architecture area, the entrepreneurship area, and so forth, which is a symbol of sustainability. We actually, are developing all the strategy of, building this campus around a sustainable project. So I hope that some of you, at least, if not all, I can welcome you at some point in Spain, in Madrid, and open you the doors to these campuses, which are pretty much amazing. I usually go 2 days or 3 days, of the week to each campus, and I have I do my work from both. The views are amazing from the one on the right, for sure. But this, I chose this picture because it kind of shows how the campus looks like in vertical. The IE University, although we are based in Spain, in Madrid, obviously we have an international presence. This is just to highlight some of the offices, across the different continents. In Asia Pacific, I manage a team of 17 people in total. We do have an office a person in Malaysia who is the director of the office, what we consider the office in Malaysia and Indonesia. And then again, I have a team in Seoul, in Shanghai, in Mumbai, in South Korea, and in India. But again, these teams are not just in the Asian continent, are across the entire world, and they're aimed to, the purpose of being there is to be closer to you. So if you have, if you need guidance at any point, it's not just with me or with the teams here in Madrid on campus, but it's also with the teams, the international teams we have on the ground. When you make the decision on a university, and this is also from my own experience, I think it's very important to align your own goals, like what you would like to achieve from here to 3 years to 5 years to 10 years, with the goals or with the values of the university. And this is important because you want a university, you want to study in a network, in a cohort that actually help meet those needs, right? So that's why I choose to highlight these values of IE, which is, they go from diversity, which is, an immense number of our students in the classroom. If I remember correctly, from the 33 students that were in my program, only one girl was, one of my colleagues, who is now even my close friend, was Spanish. So imagine the level of diversity in the class. But for me, diversity goes beyond the nationality or the different nationalities. It's about different backgrounds, right? And this is important because it actually helps you develop a very critical understanding of business solutions and business issues. So when you think from a perspective of, okay, my background is, I've studied in a top university or the school in Indonesia, and I come into Spain, I develop another understanding of how someone else thinks about or approaches an issue, which is the same issue, right? With me, like I'm coming from Romania, I have a different academic background, different professional experience. You would have a different understanding of the same issue, but then we understand, we empathize with culturally, from a cultural perspective, we empathize with the others, but we also understand different perspectives on the same issue. So we develop that, what we call the critical mind or critical mindset or critical thinking. Humanities is important because beyond being just a great manager or a great professional, we want to be a great professional that makes an impact. And you make an impact when you understand what type of community you work with, how your company or how your industry is actually impacting the world. The entrepreneurial mindset is what I've mentioned before about entrepreneurship understood from both a business ownership, but also from a transformational experience within a community or a company or industry. Social innovation, which is the basis for creativity even to some extent, and the student focus, which is something we do a lot at IE, because we tailor the program experience to your own needs, and you'll understand a bit more about that in a second. The IE diversity is just to show you the numbers. Of course, a lot of people are coming from Europe and Latin America. However, all the continents are highly represented in the classrooms. From Asia, 50%, North America as well, and Middle East and Africa, and the rest of the countries. This is just to show you the level of diversity with the different flags and different nationalities in the class. The International MBA is the full-time MBA at IE, and I wanted to highlight it here. Generally, all our programs, not just the International MBA, have 2 intakes. That means spring and fall of every year. It's a rolling admission process, which I'll detail in a bit. This program is also very highly ranked in IE. And as I will mention and describe in detail about the scholarships opportunities at IE, the ITB alumni and students can also get a 24,400 euros, which amounts to about 455 million rupees worth of scholarship to be able to pursue a program like the full-time MBA. But beyond the MBA, beyond the tech MBA, there are specialized master degrees. This is just to highlight, if you go into the IE website, this is pretty much what you will see under each pathway of knowledge or different schools. You'll find the different master degrees, which are more specialized, like the business analytics and big data. You'll find the MBAs, but you'll also find the different profiles, right? Full-time or part-time, executives, or more, programs, master programs that are more for freshers. Definitely, it's, the journey at IE is transformational, and it is like that because you learn in different ways. Not one professor uses the same approach in the classroom. You'll find case simulations. You'll have, if you're interested in developing skills more that are related to coding, for example, if you're in a tech MBA, then you can take that certification. If I want to study marketing and visual media and I want to, do video editing, then I can learn that. The study methodology at IE is a case study methodology, which means that you analyze, you develop, projects, or you develop presentations on a particular company or a particular leader, right? So it's a case study methodology that engages you a lot and makes you, think and pursue different perspectives from the classmates' perspective, right? Because it's at the end of the debate in the class. So that transformational experience in the classroom is due to learning with different minds, very intelligent minds like you all, but also develop that critical mindset through that conversation. The type of students that are part of your classroom, if you decide to join IE, would be definitely passionate about specific area. They become, or they are already disruptors in their own fields, either from an academic perspective or professional perspective, or both. They do definitely, become leaders, or they have led projects already in their schools or their internships or different professional projects, and they're definitely very international, highly diverse and international and global, right? We become definitely a global citizen, even if we move around the digital virtual environments nowadays because of the pandemic. This is just to highlight for you the type of internships we have in different countries with different universities. There are more than 100, exchange partnerships, collaborations we have with different schools, and that means that you get the value from IE, but you also have the additional value from the different universities in the world. Most importantly, in the presentation, I wanted to also highlight what the admission process looks like, right? It's a rolling admission, which means that you can pretty much apply at your own pace. You don't have a deadline. However, and I'm smiling because I never recommend you to wait until the last minute. And this is very much tied to your scholarship application. If you wait until the last minute, then you have, let's say, less chances to actually get into that pool of funds that are dedicated to a program, to an intake on a yearly basis. So it's important you apply maybe 6 months to 7 months in advance, even more than that, not more than a year in advance, because there are a lot of things that can happen in 1 year in your professional or academic career. So give yourself a few months before to actually prepare the application properly, apply for the school, and then go through the admission process. There are some alternatives, right, to the GMAT and the GRE, which are basically the main exams standard exams that you would need to take depending on which program you want to apply for, which is this alternative exam is the IE Global Admission Test, what we call the IE GAT. It does not need preparation, so it's different than the GMAT and the GRE. It's a more holistic kind of type of examination. It is free of charge. You can only take it, obviously, for IE programs. I do recommend for those of you who are exploring applying for several schools to take the GMAT or sit the GRE, because obviously it will be it will be beneficial for generally for all the universities in the world who require similar standard examinations. However, if you're applying for IE alone, or if you feel that, well, I'm not coming from an engineering background, finance, statistics, maths, business, and I'm not comfortable with the GMAT, then I can definitely take the IE GAT. Or if I am, I'm too busy and I feel I don't have the time to prepare for the GMAT, you can definitely explore taking the IE GAT without any issues. The IELTS or TOEFL is the other standard requirement in terms of language test. And the minimum we're requiring now is 7. That's because the cohort of the class is very international. So you need a good level of understanding and a good level of verbal, right, communication skill to actually take the best out of the program. If you're taking the TOEFL, the minimum would be 100, 110, which can be considered a competitive score. However, if you have studied in an English, obviously you completed your studies in English, or you have done work for 1 or 2 years in an English speaking environment, we definitely consider waiving that language exam. So keep that in mind. You can definitely reach out to me after the event. You can reach out to the admission teams for more information on the admission, but this is just to highlight how the admission process is in 5 simple steps. It's an online application, so you apply through the online platform. You take your test, either the GMAT or the GRE, which you would submit the score to us, or if you're taking the IE GAT, we would coordinate with you the day and the time, for you to take it online. And there is an online assessment, which is pretty much a short essay, video essay, live essay, where you are answering a question we place to you, just to understand your communication skill, your thought process in the moment. And then there's a personal interview with the director of admissions of that program. That completes the admission process altogether, and then the application goes into the admission committee. This process can take, generously speaking, a month or a month and a half, and that's because sometimes your recommendation letters are delaying, or maybe you need to upload a document that takes more time. That's perfectly fine, but we have a committee, an admission committee, every single week, which means that with the rolling admission process, you can get a decision within a month or a month and a half, generously speaking, from the moment you apply. And this brings me to actually probably the most important part of the presentation, which is the financial aid options. And I want to highlight, before I go into the agreement we have with ITB, and we have recently signed, like Andika was mentioning at the beginning of the session, we have about 24 scholarships available currently at IE. There are special funds that have been created because of the pandemic. That's in addition to obviously the funds that are dedicated for each year, each intake, and each program every year. That's why I wanted to stress the importance of applying early for the admission so that you can then immediately apply for the scholarships. Pretty much 74 in number, 74%, 75% of our students receive some sort of financial guidance, which means they may be interested in loans, they may be interested in scholarships, they may be interested in both, or they may be interested in exploring options locally in their home countries, which we also are able to, to guide you on. Oftentimes because of our local presence, our local teams, our international teams, obviously. And then, they receive some sort of guidance into that, but also on the opportunities that you have here to apply at our university and the funding with the banks that we own collaborations with. As a general, I would say generally, you can expect a 40% scholarship. It depends really on the application. The criteria for evaluating a scholarship is both made based on excellence, professional or academic excellence, which is merit, right? These are, if you, for example, if I have students that come and say, okay, Irina, I've been engaged or I've led this project, which is a volunteering project. So I've been, involved with, in sports, and I'm a medal winner, or I have been, achieved this success into this area. Can I place that into the scholarship application, and can that be considered merit? Absolutely. Whether you have been engaged in a project in university or outside of your university, volunteering projects, some area you're passionate about, don't hesitate to highlight it in the application for a scholarship, because that is considered merit. And the other criteria for evaluating a scholarship is purely financial necessity, which means that when you apply for a program, actually one of the sections into the application is, what is your financial plan, right? What's your current status, so that we can understand to the best of our ability, what is your need in terms of finances. So in the scholarship application, you can also place that emphasis and actually let us know, if you count with this amount and you need this amount, be concise and very clear about that, so that we can have a good understanding of what that financial necessity is. So this is the criteria for evaluating, a scholarship. You can apply for 3 scholarships in total. And I'll describe, how it works with the ITV scholarship. But before I go into that, there are, I don't know how many women we are here in the session, but and this is not to discriminate the genders, but I wanted to highlight there is a special fund created for women. We do believe that we bring that different flair into the business environment and the academic environment. So just for those of you who are here, know that there is a special fund that was created also for women in business, for women students, and you can definitely access those scholarships that are specific for women. There's scholarships for everyone, obviously, not just for women, but I wanted to specify this one. The 5 million euro fund was COVID relief fund, was created when the pandemic started. And that's an additional fund to the funds that are, that are assigned on an yearly basis anyway, for, to help students fund their studies at IE. This is important to know, because if you have a specific situation, obviously, during the pandemic, a lot of households, a lot of families, and us as individuals, whether you were working or studying or not, all of our households have been affected to some extent. So if there is a particular circumstance you would like to highlight, and you consider that the COVID, the pandemic, has actually affected deeply your financial situation or your family situation, if they're the ones supporting you to study in IE, in international university, make sure to reflect that in the application so that we can also consider more funding, right, in terms of scholarships. Again, the 40% is a general sort of amount. It's a case-by-case evaluation, but there have been scholarships that are higher because of this, again, COVID impact or circumstances that were created by the COVID. And there are other scholarships that are less, 25 or 30%, depending on the individual situation or circumstances. Again, there were more than 20, I think there are now 24, if I'm not mistaken, 24 scholarships available, very different profiles of scholarships per se. So you have young entrepreneurs, you have academic performance, you have women in STEM. If you're coming from a STEM background, the excellence, personal excellence scholarships, or the IE Foundation, which is the general scholarships you can apply for, and far many more. You'll find these available also on our website. However, don't hesitate to also reach out to me if you need more guidance. And the agreement we have definitely signed proudly with the ITB is for both students but also alumni, which can definitely access a 40% scholarship when they decide to study at IE. So this definitely, if you're applying for this scholarship, you cannot get two scholarships, one within this agreement and then another one from the ones I've mentioned before, but you can apply for the rest. So make sure that if you're an alumni or you're a student, you can definitely apply of ITB. You can definitely apply for this scholarship, this 40% scholarship. However, you can at the same time apply for two more, which is the three total any student can apply for from the other 24 scholarships available at the IE University. So there's there's a huge opportunity to cover a substantial part of the tuition fees with a scholarship. But I don't hesitate. When I applied for my program, I also applied for a scholarship. I got a partial scholarship, which made a huge difference. So it's an important support in terms of you're pursuing your program of interest, and not limit yourself because of that financial constraint. Not limit yourself and actually go for your studies with that support. I also wanted to mention, as we come towards the end of the session, the career track and projection, right? So when you come into a university like IE, it's not just about coming and doing your international studies, grow your network while you're IE. Is also about your projection for the future, post-graduation, right? There's a lot of support both from the campus, from the headquarters here in the campuses in Madrid, but you also have the support from the associate directors for careers and talent on the ground, which means that in these international teams that you have very close to your homes, you also have career directors, which are definitely closely connected with the headquarters here. So they can also help you or guide you into the placement, the jobs, the company agreements we have locally, the alumni that are working in those companies that you may be targeting, right? And you may want to grow a career there, so they can open the doors and you can have a conversation or go into a recruitment process, an interview process with that company, right, in a specific industry or sector. There are a lot of careers fairs happening, obviously during the pandemic, we had to switch and, to conducting these fairs online, but still there were a lot of companies, and I'll just mention in numbers in a bit, the amount of companies that have participated, the amount of students participating, but the assessment goes beyond that. It goes from the moment you join IE with a career assessment, with interviews, mock interviews, preparing your CVs, the cover letters, depending on the companies or the job you apply for. And if you want to be placed in Spain, stay back in Spain, or want to, work in Germany, or want to go to UK because you're more interested maybe in finance, or depending on the industry and the projection, the goal you have from a career perspective, then we guide you and help you prepare these CVs, the mock interviews, with the practical experience, so that your recruitment process is successful and you can land that job that you're after. As I mentioned, there are numbers of in the last career fair we hosted online. There were about 6,330 job opportunities created, where 1,800 students, actually participated and applied for. We had approximately 270 companies actually attending. So despite of the COVID situation, where, before the pandemic, we would host all these fairs face-to-face. We continue, we're now getting slightly back to face-to-face actions and face-to-face career fairs as well. But it didn't mean that we didn't host these sessions, these career fairs online, which means that we created that platform for students to be able to access their job opportunities also with companies, even if it was getting engaged with the company representatives on the online platform. Why IE? So I hope you're ready to join us, but why, in a wrap up or in a summary, why would you go for IE? And I highlighted some of the factors that played into my decision was, obviously the highly ranked excellence in education. We have pioneered, for the last 20 years, the blended methodology, which gives you the opportunity also to explore studying partially blended part-time program. And it's a very hands-on, very practical experience with professors that are also practitioners, not just academics, in a very diverse environment with international exposure. If you don't have already that exposure, you can grow it further, obviously from a studying perspective, academic perspective, but also professional perspective, and develop that entrepreneurial mindset, again, with an emphasis on critical problem solving. And this is where I wrap up my session so that we can allow some Q&A questions from the participants. Don't hesitate to join our Instagram account. This is a regional account where you can stay up to speed also with other initiatives, events that we organize, success stories from our alumni, the experience students share from the ground, from the campus. So you can have a bit more of just this highlights, that I presented today. It would be a pleasure to also be connected on LinkedIn if you have a LinkedIn account. If not, create one. From a career perspective, it's important to be present on LinkedIn, and definitely reach out to me. I'm one click away, one email away, to continue the conversation. Andika, I pass the floor back to you.
Thank you so much, Irina. It's been very, very insightful and informative about the studying at IE, generally speaking, and what's really the soul of IE University, and starting from the inception until now, and then all the schools that are part of IE University, and hopefully students will be will understand better. Yeah? And I believe that students will understand better, and our alumni as well, about the the prospect of going to IE for their future. And I think that we have also quite a number that registered for this session. But I think I mentioned to you or not that some maybe watching on YouTube, and some others also. So this week is actually quite tricky. So this is something we have to evaluate. As in our team, that this is the beginning of the exam week, but it's but not for all. So it depends so much on the professors, what we want to do. In my school, the School of Business and Management, this week is a free week, so we don't have any class this week.
So some of the participants are your students
I'm sorry?
today. So some of the participants would be your students here today.
Yes. I think I saw Arfa here. I know Arfa. And perhaps any one of you would like to ask questions?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yes.
Yes. Hi, Rina. Hi, Pandika. Yes, I do have a question about IE. I was interested in
Hello,
taking one of the
Arthur.
master's program, the
Yes.
Master in Digital Business and Innovation. And I was just interested in, like, for the other master program as well, what is the average age of the students and what are the average work experience that they have? Thank you.
Yes, sure. Thank you so much for the question. It's Arfa, right? That spoke. Yes. So Arfa, for generally the master programs, the specialized degrees, do not require, it's not mandatory to have, work expertise in any field. However, most students in these master degrees do come with either an internship experience of 3, 6 months, or none, right? So you can be a fresher, right? From the right after graduation from your university degree, you can definitely explore. A lot of students do it because they want to get that knowledge before they actually go into the job market. Hence, it's not a mandatory requirement. However, some of our students, do have done or are exploring doing an internship prior to beginning the program. Again, it's not mandatory. You can come, as a fresher. The maximum work experience, let's say either from an internship or a full-time work experience, you will find in that type of cohort in a specialized master degree would be 2 years. On average is 1 year, 1.5 years. But again, it depends. There are students that have no experience because they decide immediately after graduation from undergraduate, to go into a master degree and build that, knowledge, network, expertise before they actually land a job or they go into the job market. And others have some sort of internships that they have done in different areas. I hope this helps you.
Okay, thank you so much, Rina. Thank you.
Sure, you too.
So Arfa is working currently, right?
Yes, Pandika. Yes, I'm currently working.
Okay, lovely.
Great.
Good to see you. Even though I don't see you.
Yeah,
but good
from
to have you here. Yeah.
From an admission perspective, just wanted to add on, from an admission perspective, when you come with that experience, right, whether it's a short internship or longer internship or a full-time job, it's important to highlight the quality of that experience, right? So if you work with a company in tech or in finance or in marketing, highlight the type of project you're part of. So that that can be definitely a plus to the application, right? So it's definitely something you can add on to the application process.
Irina, I have a question about the requirement, if there's any, for example, for nomination from our side, from ITB. Is it required that we nominate? So, for example, or the students or alumni will just go directly to the application platform and do all the go through the procedures and so on. Would you require some nomination from us?
Sure. The way it works is, and this is an important question, Andika, and I appreciate it. The way it works is that students can go directly to apply directly on the online application, right? However, definitely is highly appreciated if you find, again, your students, you're the first to know your students best probably. So it's definitely helpful to have that recommendation or nomination from your side if you want to highlight an aspect in that student's trajectory, right? Mm-hmm. So that makes a difference. However, students can apply directly on the online application.
Mm-hmm. And it's also because there's no application, so it's on a rolling basis, so it's more flexible as well.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It's a rolling admission process, so it's quite agile in that sense. When I applied, I did it myself the same way. So you just upload, a bunch of information, the transcripts, the letters of recommendation, the CV. There's room into the application where you upload your essay. You do that online assessment that I was mentioning in the session. You do it at your pace. It's important to take the time to reflect on obviously doing a strong application, because it's a holistic approach, right? At the end of the day, it's not just the exam that counts. It's also how you express yourself, what type of experience or academic performance you've had, and highlight those aspects that are strengths in your trajectory so far.
Lovely, thank you so much. I think that I believe that the information will be very, very helpful for our students and alumni. So we're going to be distributing the information definitely, and we're just hoping that our partnership is is coming to a fruitful outcome.
Absolutely. I'm very confident about it and positive about it. So I hope that it benefits a lot of your students. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Andrika, and thank you everyone. I don't know if there are any other questions. However, as I said, you have my contact details here. You can reach out at any point for anything you need. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
So we are very happy to have you. If you don't mind, we want to take a picture as well.
Sure. Let me just
maybe the students alumni.
Sure.
Mbak Cip atau Punten. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you everyone.
Okay, so is there anyone that wants to open the video again?
Yes, let's open the video, because otherwise
anyone else students like to open your video? Show us your faces.
I would love to see everyone's faces. So
Okay, now okay, let's take a picture. Everybody smile. Okay, 1, 2, 3 cheese. Good. Yeah, that's enough. Sure, that's great.
Thank you very much.
Please share with me as well.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch as well.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. The rest of the day.
Bye. You too.
Bye. So we are right about a time to do our 4th session. Yeah. Perhaps we'll be waiting for about 4 minutes. Bu Cip, before we start. It's actually going to be a very short video presentation by the representative from the Asia Uninet network on the Ernst Mach grant scholarship. So before we proceed, let's have a break for about 4 minutes. Yeah, and also we'll be waiting for more students to come as well. Thank you for staying here. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the fourth session of the virtual information session in 4 partner scholarship programs. In particular, we've had quite a great interaction in the previous sessions, and we're coming to an end. Yeah, today, coming to the end. For those of you who probably are not really aware of the International Relations Office under the Bureau of Partnerships, yeah. So the sequence of events or sessions that we're having today is organized by International Relations Office under the Bureau of Partnerships, and I'm Andika Putra Pratama, and I am the head of division for international partnerships, which is usually called International Relations Office, yeah, or IRO ITB. And I'm also part of SBM ITB as well. And we have Ibu Nia here with us. Ibu Nia is the head of subdivision for global mobility and education, particularly for exchange. And we have also Ibu Ciptani Sita Permana here. Ibu Ciptani is in charge of helping out also the process for mobility programs, including helping out the process for scholarship application, for example. That's also what Ibu Ciptani is usually doing, yeah, helping out in the whole process. And so this session will be showing you some information about what we call Ernst Mach grants from the ASEA Uninet. Yeah, so we are ITB or ITB is part of the ASEA Uninet network. So in the network we have universities mostly from Austria and some European countries. Yeah, Italy. We have also some from Germany as well. But a lot also come from Southeast Asia as well, and South Asia, yeah, including Indonesia, and ITB is part of the network, and so we're happy to be able to show you the presentation. Yeah, it's a presentation video that has an audio. So Miss Veronica, a representative from the ASEA Uninet, is not able to make it, but she is sending the information package that we can take a look. Yeah, so it will be Bu Nia, or Bu Ciptani here, who's showing the slides, and there's supposed to be some audio, some information coming out of the presentation file, so we can take a look. Yeah, we can start. Ibu Nia or Bu Ciptani. We'll see if things are working here.
Hello from Vienna. Thank you very much. My name is Veronika Fuchshuber. I'm a program officer at the OERD, the Austria's Agency for Education and Internationalization. And here also the ASEA Uninet head office is located at. I think you know the network quite well. It's the ASEAN European Academic University Network. And if you want to know more about either the OERD or the ASEA Uninet, please visit the websites provided here on this slide. The Ernst Mach grant ASEA Uninet is targeted at young researchers and PhD students mainly. We have its target groups postgraduates, PhD students, and postdoc researchers in the field of music practice. Also undergraduates and graduates can apply for this grant. The grant is targeted at citizens from Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Thailand, or Vietnam. And we have an age limit of 45 years for postdocs and 35 years for all other applicants who want to apply for this grant. The Ernst Mach grant provides a scholarship for research or study stay at an ASEA Uninet member university in Austria. So the target country is Austria. If you want to find out which Austrian universities are part of the ASEA UNINET member of the ASEA UNINET network, please visit the link provided here on this website. The grant is given in 4 categories. You have here on this slide the types of scholarships you can apply for. I'll start with the PhD grant, which is given to postgraduates who have obtained already their master degree in their home country and who decide to start a PhD study in Austria, who wants to come to Austria for a full PhD study. Please apply to this grant. It's given for 36 months. Then we have the postdoc grant, which is given for 3 to 9 months. It is awarded to postdoc researchers who want to come for a research stay in Austria. Then we have the PhD sandwich grant. It is targeted at PhD students in the countries Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, or the Philippines who have already started their PhD in their home country and want to come to Austria to conduct a part of their study in Austria. And then the 4th type of the grant is the music grant, which is given for 9 months for a study stay in the field of music practice at an Austrian music university. And here already undergraduates can apply for this grant. Please be informed that for the postdoc grant and the PhD sandwich grant, it's important that the applicants come from an ASEA UNINET member university in Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, or the Philippines. Postdocs have to be involved in teaching or researching at the ASEA UNINET member university. PhD students have to study at the member university. To find out which universities are part of the network, please see the link provided here on the slide. Let's come to the funding topic. Postdocs receive a grant of 1,150 euros per month. All other applicants, all other scholarship holders in this who get this grant receive 1,050 euros per month. And in addition, also scholarship holders get a travel cost subsidy of 1,000 euros. The grant is given by the OERD in cooperation with the ASEA UNINET network, and it is financed by the Austrian Federal Ministry of Education, Science and Research. The call for the scholarship 2020-2023 is open now. Who is interested in this type of grant can also pay attention to the scholarship period. Who wants to apply for the PhD grant has to be in mind that he or she has to start the PhD study between August 2022 and March 2023. Then the scholarship is given for 3 years, 36 months maximum. PhD sandwich and postdoc candidates can start their scholarship in August 22 at earliest and have to complete it by December 23. So this is this period of time in which the scholarship is valid, then unfortunately it will expire. And candidates who get the Ernst Mach grant in the field of music start their scholarship and their study stay in Austria on 1st October 2022. So how is the selection process working? After the submission of the application form and all the documents needed for the application, the OERD is checking the formal requirements. Then the application's general plausibility is examined. Then in the next step, ASEA UNINET experts will evaluate the application. Successful candidates will then be invited to personal interviews by a commission of ASEA UNINET experts This commission is partly professors from Austria, and the other part is professors from the Asian partner country. And then the final decision will be taken by the Austrian ministry. They decide who will get the grant. This is the selection process valid for most of the scholarships and most of the applications. In the field of music practice, the application process is a little bit different. Here we start with mandatory auditions. To find more about the audition process, please look at the link provided here on the slide. The audition process, the application for the auditions for the current call is already closed, but anyway, it's important to have this information. Who successfully passes the auditions can then apply for the grant. The formal requirements will be checked by the OED, and then the final decision is taken by the Austrian Ministry of Science, Education and Research. We have one call per year. The current application deadline of the current call is the 1st of March 2022. So we have still a little bit of time to collect all the documents needed for the application and to fill the application documents and to submit it. Please don't wait for the last day because you have to upload several documents on a server. This may take some time. So I would recommend to not wait for the last day, but to start the application process a little bit earlier. The official grant announcement is available in the Austrian database for grants and scholarships at www.grants.at. You can also use this link highlighted in yellow here on the slide, which leads you directly to the official grants announcement of the Ernst Mach grant SEA Uninet. And there you can also find the direct link to the application form. If you have any questions, please have a look at our FAQs. We have collected some frequently asked questions regarding the scholarship and the application process on the OED website. And if you have some further questions, please do not hesitate to just contact me. Here you have my email address on this slide. Just send me a message. I will be happy to help you with the application process. And I'm very much looking forward to your applications. Wish you all the best and say thank you for your attention and the interest in this grant. Thank you and all the best.
So we thank Ms. Veronica very much for the presentation, and the information sharing about the scholarship. And so it's basically for doctoral study or a master's study, a doctoral study, a postdoc, and then sandwich. And so for sandwich, it's for those of you who are in your doctoral program at ITB, and I believe that the music grant will not be applicable for ITB, but those of you who are interested in one of the other programs, you are very much welcome to apply. And the deadline, as mentioned, is somewhere in March. And so we still have time to collect the application requirements and then to have everything ready, basically. And for your information, we for the 2021 grants, we have two people from ITB who got accepted the grants. So applications from ITB are actually quite many compared to the other universities. So it's actually quite it's a good news for us, but it means that there may be a lot of competitors for any particular slot of the program. And so you might want to take a look a little bit further. So March 1st, that's the deadline. And And we're really hopeful, and we're really hoping that you can take advantage of this opportunity to study further. And so I should mention that one person was admitted to a doctoral study, and then the other one is doing sandwich. And so the opportunity is there. Please take a look. If you have any question, you can send an email to Miss Veronica Fuchschuber here directly, yeah. Or if you have any questions to IRO ITB or our office, then you can also send an email to us as well. And but anything about the scholarship, you can send directly, I think, your questions to Miss Veronica. So with that, is there any question? Ada pertanyaan? I think it's pretty clear. It's pretty straightforward, but this information session, it hopefully gives us sort of like some more motivation, because you hear Miss Veronica speaking and giving some general idea, some sense of what it is about, what the grant is about, and how much you will get, and then what's the opportunity, and so on. So to get that sort of like spirit and motivation is probably an important part of trying to get to understand what this program is about. Okay, I think that's it. If there's no question, yeah, we will be also uploading the sessions that we have, Bu Ciptani, onto our YouTube channel, and basically you can also take a look at our website for more information about the program as well. Each one of the programs that we facilitated today, this afternoon. So you can take a look, at our website. It's going to be Global Mobility, and then you will find Outbound Mobility Partner Scholarship Programs. The information is there, and then in addition to that information, we will also upload the YouTube videos as well, and perhaps we can also put some links on the website. I think it would be helpful for you who want to know more about the any one of the programs, any one of the scholarship programs. Okay, so I think thank you very much. Terima kasih banyak for everyone who has been here. It's very short, this final session, but I'm not really sure if you want to have your video on and just to take a picture of everyone before we finalize the session. Otherwise, it's going to be the three of us only. And okay, lovely. Thank you, Yuda. Anybody else? Okay, thank you also, Yandy here. Okay, so let's count. Not count. Wait for a couple of seconds, and then we can take a picture.
Yep, there's satu, and perhaps anybody else? Udah kayaknya ya. Foto. Oh, ada lagi. Okay, thank you. So I think that's all. So let's count on to 3 and give her biggest smile. Okay, hi Leah. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Okay.
Thank you very much, everybody. Bunia, Bu Ciptani, and everybody. Hopefully, the information is helpful and useful. Stay safe and healthy, and stay on, not all the time.